Hello, people. Hello, welcome to my show. I am Comic Chat. This is my show, Chaotic Conversation. And today our topic will be our 5 favorite Star Wars movies. Today I have 4 guests on. Mr. Chris Knight. How you doing, Chris?
Doing well yourself?
I can't complain.
Good.
My other partner in crime, Mr. Sean Stockhouse. What's up, Sean?
What's going on, guys?
All right, same
And
old
the
same.
lovely Mads Mama Bear. How you doing, Mads?
Hey guys, how you doing?
And my very special guest, first time on my show, is Robert Storms. How you doing, Mr. Storms?
Well, I might be single again. I have no hair, and
Oh God.
I don't know, but no, I'm good. I'm just fucking around. I might be single again, but I'm just fucking around. Nice to join you guys.
No.
Listen to you.
Good deal. Good deal. Today is going to be a topic that we all love on the panel. I know, especially a man down below me, Mr. Storms. It's going to be about Star Wars. Before we get into that, I'm going to let everybody go around and tell the people where they can find them, and then we'll jump into the topic. First, Mr. Chris Knight, tell the people where they can find you at, sir.
Yes, I am Chris Knight, one half of the Real Review 3000, and part of the 3 people associated with Chaos Central's YouTube right here. Pop culture, Star Wars, Star Trek, music reviews. I talk a lot. My opinion is just rambling normally, things like that.
Good deal. Mr. Sean Stackhouse, tell the people where they can find you at, sir.
What's up, guys? You can check me out on YouTube at youtube.com/Sean Stackhouse Reacts.
Good deal. Miss Mads Mama Bear, where can the people find you at, ma'am?
Hey guys, Mads Mama Bear. You can find me at Mads Mama Bear on Twitter, Yahoo, and on Instagram now. And I have just started posting up some new videos, so check them out. Check them out.
And last but not least is my good friend Robert Storms. Tell the people where they can find you at, Mr. Storms.
Just type in Parasite. I'll pop up.
That is true.
You gonna say anything else, or are you
Oh
gonna
no, I'm good. I'm just going with the flow. I'm relaxed.
Okay. All right, tonight, topic will be our 5 favorite Star Wars movies. I know they're gonna be different. People are going to have different lineups, and we're going to give one honorable mention per person. There were 11 live action Star Wars movies, but there's no way I could let all of us rank all 11. So I had to cut it down, and the number I cut it down to was 5. And I just added one honorable mention. So of course, everybody I know are going to have different opinions on what they think is good, but you're also going to have the sufficient time to discuss and argue why you think your movie is whatever ranking that you put it at. Being that he is the first time on my show and as a guest, I'm going to let Mr. Robert Storms go first and tell us his 5.
Tell you my number 5? My number 5?
That 5 will go to 1 and then do your honorable mention, or you can start your honorable mention and then go into 5 to 1, whichever one you want to do.
I'm going from honorable mention down to 1. Okay. So, okay. My honorable mention is Return of the Jedi. It was almost in the top 5, but not quite in the top 5. This is my favorite list. What I think is the best is actually quite different to what I think is my favorite. So I'm just gonna go 5 to 1. God, I hope I don't fuck this up. Maybe I should have wrote it down. Well, you improv. Let me see. Hold on. Okay, I'm gonna go to fuck. Okay. I got it. Honorable mentions: Return of the Jedi. Number 5, Revenge of the Sith. Number 4, Force Awakens. Number 3, Empire Strikes Back. Number 2, Last Jedi. Number 1, A New Hope. Really, to me, I look at Star Wars as one big film, so it's really hard for me to try to rank these. Like everybody's like, rank your favorite Star Wars movie. To me, it's like one giant damn saga. It's hard to rank them. I love Attack of the Clones just as much as I love Revenge of the Sith and Force Awakens. So to me, they're all number 1. A New Hope is number 1 for me because that was the first one I seen when I was a kid. Also, it's the one I think that connects everything the best. When you watch it as a kid, it plays different than you watch it now. You watch it now after watching the prequels. When you see Obi-Wan talk about, I was once a Jedi Knight just like your father. I fought in the Clone Wars. All that has so much more meaning now after watching the prequels that it's more significant in the overall scheme of all three trilogies. Last Jedi, I think, is much different. I'm not even going to get into the debate of what people like, what people don't like. That's perfectly up for everybody's personal taste. I think it's technically the best written, best film, the best acted Star Wars and all. I love that film. Empire Strikes Back is arguably right there with Last Jedi as the best technical, best shot, best script. Like those two are like neck and neck ties. So both of them top films. Force Awakens, I think, is just a fun film. Like it's fast paced, it's fun. We get reconnected with the past. I love the new characters. Unfortunately, what happens to those characters later on in the trilogy, I don't want to talk about. And then Revenge of the Sith. Like I love all the prequels. Revenge of the Sith is the one I go back and watch the most. Just the end Obi-Wan fight with Anakin, just overall fantastic. And if I had a number 6 spot, it was either going to be Return of the Jedi or Rogue One. I think Return of the Jedi kind of weeded it out. So I'm not going to bother everybody with all the details. So that's all I got. So yeah,
not a bad list.
Yep, good list.
Thank you.
Not bad at all. Sean, you are next, sir.
All right. Honorable mention would have to be Rogue One, just because I like how it shows a different side of A New Hope. So number 5 would have to be Revenge of the Sith. I mean, the prequels. I know everybody has a lot of issues with the prequels, but I mean, like the second and third editions of the prequels have always been my favorite. I mean, Robert had said, like the battle between Obi-Wan and Anakin, I mean, that's just epic filmmaking. I mean, that's something that I think every Star Wars fan has envisioned since, 1977 or something like that. So number 4 would have to be Attack of the Clones. 2 and 3, I mean, it was hard to rank those. So number 3, probably, it would have to be Jedi. It was kind of I mean, I see what Lucas was going for with Jedi, but I mean, it was kind of, after Empire, it was kind of a lackluster into the trilogy. I mean, it was good, but it was like this after Empire. Oh, all right. So number 2 would have to be A New Hope or just Star Wars. I do agree that seeing Star Wars now, you watch it in a completely different way since we have the prequels. That was actually a very valid point. And number 1 would have to be Empire. Empire is just, in my opinion, like so far, until maybe Kevin Feige gets his hands on things, it's just like the best executed Star Wars film, like in every way imaginable.
Good deal. I'm not mad with that list at all either. Mads, you are next.
Okay. Honorable mention. I will agree with Sean on that one. Rogue One, and for exactly the same reasons he mentioned. I am a big sucker for the whole, other side of the story type movies. So that one will definitely be my honorable mention and would have been my number 6. Gonna start off with number 5. That's Attack of the Clones. I know it's one of those movies in the prequels that not a lot of people wasn't the favorite one in the prequels, but I'm going to play the woman card here. I liked the romance side of it. So watching the two of them fall in love, that was something that I really liked. And guilty, I loved her dress. So I'll own it. I have sat and tried to figure out how to make that dress many times.
So is Chris.
Number 4 is Empire for me. Bear in mind, I am a prequels fan. That's how I started out. So, but again, it's one of those. It's got that huge reveal, but the only reason why it's not higher on my list is the ending does not have that satisfactory feel to me. You know, like
It's the middle.
yeah,
It's not
the
supposed to
number
have a
three.
satisfactory
I
ending.
know it's not supposed to have a battery, but it feels unfinished for that movie.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's why it sits weird with me. And that's why New Hope ranks at number 3, because that on its own is a complete movie.
Yeah.
It does give you that satisfactory ending and still wanting to see more.
Mhm.
Phantom Menace is number 2. I fell in love with Darth Maul from the moment he jumped off that theater.
Oh yeah, there were great moments in episode 1 for sure.
And honestly, ever since then, I've been a huge Ray Park fan.
Mm.
But yeah, I know, shocker, you guys have never heard me talk about him. Which leaves me with, again, Revenge of the Sith for the first one. That one, like you guys said, it was that moment that everyone was wanting to see. That moment that he snapped and turned to the dark side.
Yep.
And when he raises up, you got the whole Darth Vader theme going on. I mean, even I got chills on that one. And you know, bit of a Star Wars news, whatever you want to call it.
All right, good list, Mads. Good list. Kind of sort of matching up a little bit. Okay, Mr. Chris, Mr. Knight.
Okay, I'm going to put 2 honorable mentions on there, but the first one is definitely Rogue One, primarily Rogue One, and for the same reasons as Sean and Matt said, I can't watch Rogue One without wanting to watch Star Wars right afterwards. It's like they go so hand in hand together. It's amazing, and I don't know. It's awesome how they did it. I think, and I think it kind of makes me want to see the. It makes me want to see more of that type of movie, not trilogies anymore. I'd like to see more of the other side stories or the connective stories we never saw. I'd like to see more movies based off of that, truthfully. And with the fact that they did that, and I think Solo was great. I don't have a problem with Solo, but even Solo to me makes sense on some levels and helps with the whole storyline. I know Sean's gonna roll his eyes. That's fine. It's all right.
Solo wasn't actually a bad movie. I just think they got the wrong actor to play Han.
I don't know about that
My
either,
biggest issue with it, to be honest.
but I didn't mind it. I mean, there's some things there they took liberties with, but it works as a story, and it's somewhat similar to.
I wanted to like Solo. It was just, I don't know.
Whatever. The other honorable mention I will put in is The Last Jedi. I do agree with Robert that I think it's got some of the best acting in it. I do. But the problem with it takes a lot that you have to make up for that's never explained. There's a lot in there that isn't really given to you, and you have to do it yourself. And that's not really what I think a good movie does. A good movie gives you enough that you can understand it and it works out. But I do like that movie. I still do. And I won't ever back down from that. So, Robert, I'm glad you put that in your top. Really good. Now, number 5. Oh, boy. I am going to go with Return of the Jedi. I like the ending. I like how it wraps everything up nice and neat. I just kind of felt that it got kind of kiddish at times, and it was kind of a little more comedy. And that was kind of my problem with some of the new ones, is that it's like, okay, I don't need so much comedy, but I like it. Okay, so number 4, Attack of the Clones. Shows us how the Clone Wars started. It got me really excited for the Clone Wars series and the movie. This is something, again, going back to what Robert said about A New Hope or Star Wars or whatever you're going to call it. This is stuff you had heard about, and now you're watching it, and it's like, okay, this is great. I was really excited to see that, and also the level of acting and storytelling in that one went way up from episode 1. I think it went way up, and I understand there's a lot of context, a lot of a lot of stuff they had to tell you about in the first one. It was also a kid that was acting as Anakin, so therefore it wasn't quite the best acting. There was a lot of things going on with episode 1, but they had to do that. They had to start there. Number 3, I'm going to put Star Wars, A New Hope, whatever. It is a complete movie. It is because he didn't think he was ever going to have another movie. So he put as much of his script into that one movie. So you get elements of basically the end was supposed to be the Death Star anyway. So he just stripped that straight from the end of the whole thing, which he had to do it again to finish it out when he finally got his trilogy. But if you take all the things that you know about it now, all the problems that were during production, all the changes that he had to do, the fact that the original edit, people were looking at him going like, I hope this is not what you're going to put out there. The fact that his ex-wife re-edited it to make it the movie it is today. There's so much behind it now that you know, and it seems so amazing that this franchise that is built on one film was so close to not happening that you have to really appreciate that movie. Number 2, Revenge of the Sith. It is absolutely the culminating moment that anybody who is born around Star Wars like I was and like Sean was and people our age, I think it was the culminating moment that, yes, we knew the story. We knew what happens. We get there. We understand it, but we'd never seen it. We wanted to see it and to watch it happen. And honestly, the scene when they're fighting together, I think it's Mustafar, right? Is that it?
Yeah.
When they're doing that, the dialogue between the two of them, you really feel like they think like they've both been betrayed, but one takes the betrayal as I have failed you. The other one, the betrayal turns around and it's you're the problem, not me. And it's so you really see him turn so distinctly that it's not even a question because in the original trilogy, it's always a question of, I feel good in him. I know he's good still, but you see that and you don't believe it from there. You do understand why some people didn't believe he could be turned back. Number 1, The Empire Strikes Back. I think it's always going to be The Empire Strikes Back for me because I'm sorry, without the reveal of him being the father of Luke Skywalker, I don't think 3 has the feel. I don't think that turn means as much because now you realize Luke being somebody who's being brought up in the same vein as being trained and has walked away from his training like he was told not to do. And after you see the whole thing lead up to what Anakin ends up doing at the end of Revenge of the Sith, it really puts more weight behind Revenge of the Sith. So without that one, I don't think Revenge of the Sith means nearly as much. So that's why I put it number 1. But the fact that Revenge of the Sith is number 2, it speaks volume because the prequels to me it was like, okay. And then it was like, all right. And by the time I was at the third movie, I was like, yes, this is what I want. I mean, and to your point, Darth Maul, if Darth Maul isn't in the first one, it's not worth watching. That he makes that movie. That movie is Darth Maul. And the fact that they kill him off at the end of it was so stupid. Oh, but then, and
the prequels could have been much different if Darth Maul was kept alive.
Yeah, they could have kept him for the whole series as the apprentice. They could have.
They did.
All right. But you know what? That's probably one of the best parts of Solo, though. The end where you get to see his legs or the mechanical legs and everything. Dude, that was like, okay, see, you guys know how to do this. Why are you screwing up on other things? It just. But
that's because John Kasdan actually likes Star Wars and knows the history of Star Wars, unlike someone like Lawrence Kasdan, who wrote the original trilogy and didn't pay attention to anything after that.
I'm gonna have to watch that again. I didn't see no mechanical legs on Rogue One.
If you watch it's there, and it's not like really noticeable. But if you watch the bottom of his legs, you can
even hear the sound effect of the leg.
You can. And I watched the other day, and I really paid attention to that because I was wondering. I was like, I wonder because I never really paid attention to it, but I was wondering about it. So I watched it the other day at work because I had nothing better to do. I did that, Black Panther, a bunch of stuff, but I watched that one and it was, I was like, okay, I like that. I like that little paying attention to the detail.
I'll have to pay attention next time.
Yeah.
That was a good list too, Chris.
Thank you.
Everybody list, or I'm not mad at anybody's list. Mine is going to be a little bit different. My honorable mention is Attack of the Clones. Out of the prequels, that was my least favorite. But I still liked it. I liked how we found out who ordered the Clone War. I mean, the clones. How Obi-Wan found out what was going on. The Jango Fett. We see what kind of motivated Boba Fett once he saw Mace Windu kill his dad, and he was kind of pissed off, and it got him, I guess, going down the path that he's famous for now. So I like Attack of the Clones. It's my honorable mention. Number 5 is going to be Rogue One, and mainly because the last 3 minutes of the movie really sold me. Darth Vader going badass on those guys in that back of that ship. I like the whole movie overall because it showed how that scientists intentionally put the weakness in the Death Star, and how many people gave their lives to try to hide that secret and get that secret to the Resistance. The sacrifice they made to make sure that that secret got into the right hands. I thought that was cool, the whole process of that. But like I said, my favorite part was the last few minutes when Vader just went badass on those guys. And then it tied into the Star Wars. I love how they did that. My number 4 would be The Phantom Menace. I'm a big fan of the prequels. Darth Maul. I can remember it when they're walking through the palace and they see Darth Maul, and Qui-Gon says, we're going to handle this. They're taking their robes off, and he ignited that double-edged lightsaber. And I was just, every time they took him off that fight scene and went to another scene, I was pissed off. Like, no, go back to Darth Maul and Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan. That fight scene was amazing to me. I love that part. My number 3 would be Empire Strikes Back. The more I watch the prequels, I know it's going to sound sacrilegious. I do agree with what Robert said. Once you watch the prequels, then it makes A New Hope that much more interesting to watch it. It's very profound. I agree with him 1,000%. But I never was really a fan of Empire Strikes Back. Forgive me. I like New Hope, and I like Return of the Jedi better out of the 3. My number 2 was Return of the Jedi. I like to see when Luke came into to that castle when he sent R2-D2 and sent C-3PO, and he went into the castle. He was so confident. He tried a Jedi mind trick on Jabba, and it didn't work, and how he was just confident and was going to get Han back, and how he had to fight that beast in the dungeon. I can't think of the name of the beast in the dungeon. And then the big Rancor, yeah, and the big fight scene in the desert on that ship, and they save Lando from going into the Sarlacc pit. All that whole scene, and Leia being able to kill Jabba, all that whole scene really got me excited about that. Did not too much care about the Ewok part of it. Didn't like that. I agree with Chris. I thought the Ewoks were a little kind of childish. I guess that tailored toward the kids and stuff.
Well, that's
really
good because a lot of them were played by kids.
Yeah.
That is true. Child labor laws were being pushed to the max then.
And my number 1 is Revenge of the Sith. I want to see Anakin turn Darth Vader. I remember, I think I told Robert this when I was at the theater, and when he put that helmet on and started that first breath for the first time, the whole doggone theater went crazy. And then when he stood up and Emperor told him that bull jive and made him mad, and he used force to destroy everything and probably in a 2-mile radius. The fight scene, of course, was awesome. The fight scene between Yoda and Palpatine was awesome too. But the Revenge of the Sith, we always knew Anakin was going to become Darth Vader, but to actually see it, to see the process, that was really exciting, and I'm glad they did it. I think they did it right. Out of prequels, that is the best one out of the three. I can never get tired of seeing that, and I hope that their next endeavors, they'll kind of tap back into that prequel and in the first three, and try and get that feel back again. Not to say that the last three wasn't bad. I mean, well, let me say the last three wasn't terrible, but they're nowhere near the prequels and the first three. Nowhere.
That's because
in my opinion.
No. You're absolutely right. The reason for that, right? I think the movies are good. The lightsaber duels in the new movies suck because Lucasfilm now is so busy trying to play that nostalgia card. They're like, we got to make everything like the OG trilogy, and the lightsaber duels in the OG trilogy sucked.
Yeah. See, here's the thing. I say about the new lightsaber duels. It's like they're dancing, and it's not so much. And Mads, tell me again. I can't ever remember the actor's name that you love so much from Phantom Menace.
Ray Park.
Yeah, thank you. I always forget. Anyways, when he designed, because he helped design those first things, what he did is he took actual martial arts and other forms of combat, fencing. He put a lot of that together, so it looked realistic and made sense to people who knew what fencing and stuff like that was. And so when it showed it, and yes, it had the spinning and stuff like that, and that was added for an artistic flair. But it's like in the newer ones that they do the spinning and stuff. It looks like dancing, but they're not really effectively.
Well, I mean, I can make a story excuse to excuse it, but that doesn't make it fun to watch. Like
I'm not saying
I can easily say I can easily make an excuse for the movies going, well, technically none of them were actually really trained by the Jedi in their prime, so of course they don't know how to do like the Jedi used to. But still, that doesn't.
But they're still doing like the moves and the spins and stuff like that. It's
but they're not fucking going out there doing backflips and ninja kicking and all that shit. But I mean, seriously, like if they ever do a Knights of the Old Republic movie and we don't get fucking good ass lightsaber duels, I'm gonna be pissed. The Rise of Skywalker duels sucked bad, really bad. Yeah, and there was like 8 of them, and they all sucked.
Yeah.
The prequel spoiled us because we saw it all fast. They were young, exactly. In their prime.
But that was
now we gotta get back. But see the way they did that, the same way Yoda's the oldest one, 800 something years old, and when he fought full pedal to the metal. They can do that same thing if you tap into the Force. According to what they say, it's supposed to speed you up. But now they fight in slow motion like they old as fuck. So I mean, I don't understand why they didn't transfer that same speed and energy into the last 3 years.
They have actors that can do it. They have actors that can actually do it. They're young,
why they won't do it.
Athletic. It's because they're trying to play to the old school OG audience. They're like, well, in the original trilogy, everything was slow and it was painful and powerful. It's like, fuck that, dude. I want to see them dance.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Just adding on to what Chris was mentioning, the reason why Ray Park actually added that stuff in is because that's what he's trained to do. When he got the opportunity to be in a Raiden's stunt double in Mortal Kombat Annihilation, he actually walked away from a martial arts championship.
I know that. I've watched all the commentary and all the stuff about how they design those things, and I've watched him explain it. And I love the guy. The guy puts so much thought behind it. And if I remember right, I'm not positive, but didn't they bring him back for the other ones? He just wasn't in them. I think he was still a consultator, or they consulted him for those things.
I'd have to double check IMDb on that one, but yeah, I think he was.
But the thing is,
even the fact he still does this stuff.
I know, but they should have brought him back. And they, once you got a guy that's basically made what George Lucas wanted to show, that was the big thing he always talked about whenever he started doing the prequels, is that he didn't get to do that in the original trilogy because they just didn't have the means, the technology, all of that stuff. And so when he went to the prequels, he found the guy he knew that could translate that into what he wanted. And when he got it like that, why break form and go to somebody else? You bring that guy back because he is the godfather of what the old school lightsaber battle is. And we say that, yes, I know, newer movies, but it's about the stuff that happened before the original trilogy. So this is the original stuff. So therefore, that's what you want to continue. And if you want to show it like that, and Robert's exactly right. They're like, oh, we got to show them the same thing they saw in the prequels. Well, not necessarily, because you can go right into that storyline, like he said, that says, well, nobody was really trained here. So, I mean, okay, maybe Kylo, because Luke Skywalker trains him, but even then, we didn't get the storyline that Luke went and spent time learning all of the old trades and all the old arts, like in the books he does. We didn't get any of that storyline, so we don't know that really happened. We have to make that up for ourselves. But even then, how does Rey do it? Again, it's always about how does Rey do that stuff. So I don't know.
Well, the way I look at it, if you ever watch the documentary for the prequels and stuff, and George Lucas explains the faster pace fight style compared to the original trilogy, he explains it in a story level, like, well, the OG trilogy is slow because you have an old man in Obi-Wan, you have a mechanical man in Vader
that's broken down,
and Luke was never trained. He was just taught for like a day by an old man, so he just kind of going with the wing of it. Whereas in the prequels, there were lightsaber instructors.
Yes.
They were teaching these kids. So Luke never got an instructor on lightsaber. He basically taught his own technique. He basically read like a karate book and taught himself.
Yes, and that's
so you're never gonna. He's never gonna be like super efficient like the old school Jedi. And of course, his other students are not gonna learn because they're learning from Luke. And I mean, I understand from a story point, but that still doesn't mean it's fun to watch on screen.
But that's what I'm saying. I agree with you totally on that. And I think the lightsaber battles were totally handled wrong in the new trilogy. But it's like you said, it's about the look. They went for a look.
Yeah.
And I don't think they executed it all that well.
They weren't consistent because, correct me if I'm wrong, Rogue One supposed to happen before New Hope, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
But Darth Vader was very proficient and fast.
That wasn't a lightsaber duel, though. He's walking down a hallway.
And here's the other thing: he is pissed off, so that ups his ability. I don't think he was ever fully pissed off in the original trilogy. Plus, if you read about and you listen to some of the stuff that Lucas said about his suit, that the suit was designed to give him literally limited a use of his force abilities, but Palpatine had it so he controlled how much of that power and force he could use as a way to control Vader. And so there's some question in that if perhaps he let some of it go because he knew he was going to kill all these people. And I mean, again, it depends on where you walk into the whole movie franchise. How much of it do you want to explain from the books and all that? A lot more of Vader and his suit and things like that are explained in the books than it ever is in the movies.
Unless you watch documentaries.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. And then documentaries. Yeah. I mean, but that's, yeah, exactly.
And plus, when Vader was going down that hall scene, he wasn't using his legs. He was just using his arms. Like, even people who are older, if you watch the Attack of the Clones documentary, Christopher Lee, who plays Dooku, is like, I can move my arms fast with the saber. He's like, I just can't move my legs. Yeah. That's why they had to get a stun double to do most of that stuff. Mm-hmm. So Vader, even if he's crippled in the machine and whatnot, he still can swing the lightsaber fast. He just... And plus, he was using a lot of the force for most of that, grabbing bitches and shit, so. And plus, it's a newer movie, and the original movie was shot in the 70s, so that's the real reason, so.
Yeah. I agree. The list, like I said, all 5 of our lists kind of had pretty much the same people on there, just different numbers, which is you say tomato, I say tomato, but still a damn tomato. I appreciate you all coming on. If you don't have anything else to say, then that's going to conclude the show.
Oh, you're going to end it that fast, man? You're going to end it that fast?
Unless you got something else to talk about, bro.
I mean, not really, but I can think of shit to talk about.
I'm open. I'm open.
Again, we
really
can talk about that redhead in the background of his on his pictures.
That's MJ,
I know.
and not that fake ass MJ.
I know.
Those news.
Well, I know. We've had this conversation before about that because I mean, I do love those pictures.
I mean, how hard was it to make Zendaya a redhead? Like what does Hollywood have against redheads these days?
According to them, it's not MJ. It's just her and her.
Then they need to call her something else.
I know, and that's what everybody says, and I'm like, I don't disagree because it's not MJ. It's obviously not MJ, but you use the initials, which means you should be honoring what it is.
Yeah. So, but, well, I'm a little disappointed in everybody that no one has Solo in their top one, man.
I actually haven't seen it yet.
No,
Oh, you're lucky. You're lucky. I envy you. Nights I have a hard time sleeping, I put it on. Puts me right out.
I'm gonna watch Solo for the same part, but I did not see the robotic legs. I'm interested. I don't know how I missed that.
There are parts of Solo that
I'm gonna go check that out.
I think could have been done better. I don't disagree that they could have found a better person to play Solo, but I don't think the guy did a bad job. I hate the way Lando is with the robot. It's like, okay,
don't even talk about that fucking robot.
I just was like, why? What does this do to effectively fix the story? If she's supposed to be in the Millennium Falcon as the navigation, fine. Have her in the film, have her die, but you don't need to add all that other stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
You could have still done the same thing just without all that other crap. I did like the fact that they showed Cybok, or no, the card game.
Sabak?
Sabak, yeah, Sabak, whatever. I liked that they showed that. I liked that it showed that Lando cheated the first time, and then that would be the reason why he's constantly telling
Mama Bear said she ain't seen the movie, man. You spoiling the whole damn thing for her.
No, I'm not. Because that has nothing to do with it.
Yeah, I hang out with the Dark Council. I have heard all about Solo and Last Jedi. I haven't seen either one of them. So
you haven't seen Last Jedi?
No.
You're going down a path I can't follow. You're breaking my heart.
That's okay. He tells me I don't need to.
Oh, that's insane. That's insane. Last Jedi is a mwah.
Yeah, you see, I don't buy into the people who don't give it credit for what it is, and everything that they point out as, oh, this doesn't make sense. I'm like, actually, yeah, it does.
To be honest with you, they should have just stopped the trilogy after The Last Jedi because Ron Skywalker's awful.
Well, that's because JJ didn't like the place he took it. I hate the fact that they killed
Hux?
No. I'm talking about Last Jedi. Snoke. I hate the fact that they killed Snoke.
Oh, I love that.
I thought it was cool. I was like,
yes,
wow.
Somebody's got balls to do something in this franchise.
Yeah, no, I was okay with it. I didn't say I hated that.
And then the next movie, they just kind of retcon it. Like, yeah, it didn't really matter.
That's because everybody jumped on the bandwagon of hating it. And I'm not sure that was just.
That's why I like George Lucas so much. Say what you want about the prequels, because God knows that man ate a lot of shit.
He did.
20 years ago, that man ate so much shit. He didn't care. He made the story he wanted to make. If he read people didn't like Jar Jar, he's like, fuck you. I'm throwing Jar Jar right in that scene. You know, whereas Disney is like, oh, you don't like that? Here, let us fix it for you. You know, at least, you know, Lucas, man, that man had balls. He stuck to his guns. He did exactly what he wanted to do. Because Lucas is like, Palpatine is dead. He said that. He came out and said, like, Palpatine's dead. And Lucasfilm was like, nope. I'm like, all right. Okay, cool.
Have you watched the movie now since you read the book, Robert?
No, I read what? Wait, the book came out. Did the book or did it come out? Did it come out on Blu-ray first, or did the book come out first? I think the book came out first.
I want to talk about the Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, the book came out before it came out on Blu-ray. So I read the book, and then the Blu-ray came out. I picked up the Blu-ray and I rewatched it. And I was like, "Ooh, I wonder if I'm going to like the movie more." And I watched it, and I looked at Adam, and I'm like, "Nope." I love the book. Love the book.
Reading the book that makes some of the parts scenes connect better.
the first, it does in the book, but because
I'm saying when you watch the movie now,
no, because
you
the
see
movie
some
distracts me. No, because the movie distracts me. Because in the book, Leia does so much. She talks
Yeah.
a lot. She does so much in the novel, and in the book, she just stands there and says like one word, and it's like awkward silence, and then she says like a droid is always right or some stupid shit. It's so clear it's stock footage that she's not there that is so distracting, especially when you read the book and it's like they had a clear vision of what they wanted her to do. Unfortunately, they couldn't because of the tragic events. So they should have just took her out of the movie completely because it was just distracting. And that whole first hour of the movie is just not a good movie. From the moment they get to the Death Star to the end, the movie's okay. I can watch it. It's entertaining. Do whatever you want. The first hour is just like, hey, we got to go there. And like, hey, I got this dagger that goes there. And I lost the dagger. But don't worry, Chewie's got the dagger. It's like so convenient. And it just like wastes so much time. And I still can't think of how the hell they have an ancient dagger that can measure the wreckage of the Death Star. Like whoever made that dagger, could they see in the future and realize that the Death Star would have been destroyed and laid in that exact position? I'm just curious, But
that didn't make sense.
But once they get to the Death Star and like Rey is fighting Kylo and they have that moment with Han, I like the movie from that point forward. But everything beginning, it just feels out of place because and strange enough, that's when Leia died, was at the Death Star. So once you get the elephant out of the room, the story can tell its story. Whereas the beginning of the movie, they're just catering to put Carrie Fisher in there when really she didn't have to be in there. Like in the novel, she's so fleshed out, has so much story. She has like pages of dialogue where she's talking to Rey and training Rey. And then you watch the movie and she's just standing there like this. Try. Like that's all she's doing. They just keep repeating the same shit. I know I'm complaining too much, guys. I'm sorry. Hashtag
You're fine. You're fine.
What's up, Terrence?
I don't disagree with the stuff you're saying though.
We already finished our list. We're about to shut it down, but do you have your list?
Top 5, right?
Yeah, your 5 favorite. 5 to 1.
Number 5 would be Force Awakens.
Nice man.
Number 4 would be Rogue One. Number 3 would be Return of the Jedi. Number 2, the very first Star Wars. And then number 1, I'm going to go with Empire Strikes Back.
That is a very, very, very solid list, my friend.
Nice.
So you don't. What would be your honorable mention?
I guess I'll go with the episode 3, only because of only because of certain scenes that go on with Anakin. But I'm kind of a little bit bent on that just because I don't really care for the prequels, but I guess that one over the other ones.
Yeah, that was the one prequel I added them on. And I love Attack of the Clones. Man, like I put Attack of the Clones on all the time. I like I love you. I thought we promised we weren't gonna fall in love. Like I like that bullshit. I wrote a book and put some of that bullshit in a book. So I love that shit. But just as a technical thing, there's a lot of stuff wrong with that movie. But yeah, Revenge of the Sith, man. It's just that Obi-Wan Anakin fight, man. I love it.
Yep, a sucker killed a youngling's boy and eyes turned a different color.
And wasn't it me and you, Danny, that were talking in the last live stream about the Grievous Obi-Wan fight was badass too?
Mm-hmm.
I remember Adam was like, "That's not a fight." Yeah, it was literally a lightsaber on lightsaber fight.
And the thing is they give you the context right from the get-go.
Yeah,
they give you the context right from the get-go. I have studied your ways of fighting.
Yeah,
and that makes
like Count Dooku. Yeah, the only thing they don't explain, you kind of have to watch either the documentary or the commentary is like they explain that all those lightsabers come from the ones that he killed.
Yes.
But they don't really need to explain that. All they need
No.
to explain is Count Dooku trained me in the arts of the Jedi.
Yeah.
And like he just goes to town. That's all we need to know, guys. Just let him have it. And
I should say that that's one of my favorite scenes in Revenge of the Sith, which is the Order 66. I thought that was just the most badass thing by far in the prequels.
Yeah, definitely. And I also want to say this too. I think General Grievous is extremely underrated. I think he is such a badass looking character. He's badass. Like I just love Grievous. I wish they would have done more with him. But yeah. And I agree with Terrence on the Order 66, man. Order 66. That was the type of as a kid, that's what I was thinking Order 66 was gonna be.
Well, you know what? I've said it time and time again. It says something for a movie that, okay, I'm not going to call Star Wars a kid's movie. Maybe lately it's been more of a kid's movie. Maybe not. I don't know, because I don't think the Last Jedi is very kiddie.
I wouldn't consider it a kiddie other than the porgs and the
but when you see Anakin stare at that kid when he asks what's going on, they don't show it. They don't show it. But you see it in your head what he does to that kid.
Oh, they
absolutely.
That right there,
my ass off when I saw that shit.
Dude, everybody laughed their ass off of
that right there was like, holy crap. I mean, that was a holy crap moment.
Finally no longer a bitch in this prequels. That's why I was like,
yeah, he's like, I'm gonna show you.
It's like, Master Skywalker. Just fuck that little kid up.
Shut up, kid.
That little kid.
I just like how he sounded so innocent, like, Master Skywalker, what are we going to do? I was like, yep, you're gonna die, boy. That's what you're gonna do.
I'm gonna make you my bitch.
Anakin, like, let me show you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna have a fucking apprentice shish kebab going on here.
Man, y'all are sick.
Dude, that was awesome. Fuck that little kid. Especially since that little kid looked like Jake Lloyd and it reminded me of Anakin in episode 1, which I hate Anakin in episode 1 because I hate Jake Lloyd. If you guys ever watched the documentary to episode 1, there was 2 people up for the role of Anakin. The second kid was a million times better, but fucking George Lucas picked Jake Lloyd because he can improv. It was like, dude, he sucked. Now this is pod racing. Fuck you. I'm so glad that Anakin killed a kid that looked just like him.
I like that.
You know, if you take Jake Lloyd out, I think if you take Jake Lloyd out of Phantom Menace and you would have cast the other kid that should have been cast, I think Phantom Menace would have been a much, much, much better film. And I already think it's a decent film. I think it would have been a much better film. Jake Lloyd just takes you out as Anakin. Like there's no way this little retarded kid could be a Jedi Master. It's like you can't. He's talking about Bulba and are you an angel? Fuck you, you motherfucker. What the fuck you know about an angel?
Cold-hearted, boy.
Dude, I hate Jake Lloyd, man. I hate Jake Lloyd, especially in Jingle All the Way. I don't know, Turbo, man. Fuck you.
Hey, Robert. When he yelled at Arnold, man, I fucking threw the remote at the TV. I was like, you ain't getting that boy no Turbo, man. Give him the ass whooping.
No. That's how white people be doing this shit nowadays. They don't want to hit their kids. Their kids start yelling at them. They're like, okay, we'll suck your dick and give you whatever you want.
Oh my God. Oh my Lord.
That's some facts right there, though. From what
it's true though, dude. When I was younger, if I asked my dad for anything, my dad would have went, bitch, get your ass in the damn house. I ain't buying you shit. I'm like, all right, Dad. That's why I'm so angry today. I didn't get a Turbo Man doll as a kid.
The most badass action figure ever.
Yeah, Jason, I did like the Mace and Palpatine fight. That was cool.
I like the Mace Palpatine fight. I just had a problem with the way Palpatine was fighting because he wasn't really fighting. He was doing like this sticking, and then he like if you freeze the frame, he does this weird. Then he like, I'm like, oh, dude, they Palpatine, you should not be fighting, man. You should have definitely had a stunt double doing all that.
That's because he was waiting for Anakin. He's like, Anakin, you see this? I'm being attacked. Hello, Jedi are evil. That's what I think that is.
Oh, fucking Palpatine, he fucking smart, dude. He's like, you know, they fucked Ahsoka. They did this, they did that. They're gonna kill me. I can save your wife, sort of, kinda, you know. Anakin like the dumbest
All
Jedi.
Anakin ever learns is that everybody lies to him.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's all.
I think the Clone Wars show does a great job showing how crooked the Jedi Order actually is, though. So when he does turn in Revenge of the Sith, it's more believable. You find out, like, yeah, he's pretty fucking crooked. Would you rank the Mandalorian Star Wars live action list? There's only 8 episodes. How are you going to rank that?
Where would you rank it in the Star Wars live action list? Out of the 11, I put it in the 6-7 range. If you add that as the whole series as 12, as a 12th live action, something I would rate it about.
You would consider the Mandalorian like a 4-hour movie?
I could cut it down to a 4-hour movie. There's a lot of stuff you can cut out of that.
Well, it's 8 episodes. Each episode is like 20 minutes, so it's like 4 hours, a little less actually.
It's 40 minutes each one.
No, some of them are 20. It's like crazy.
I don't know. It's been a while, but I mean, I could
like 20.
I
would put the Mandalorian over the recent trilogy. I would put it over. I didn't like the prequel, so I would put over that too.
I'd put it in the 6 range, 6-7 area,
yeah,
somewhere in there.
7 too. I think I would put it at 7 too.
I put it after the prequels. I like the prequels.
I like the prequels, but I love the story that we got from Mandalorian. We were able to really connect with the character, and it connects really well to the prequel, especially like episode 2. You know, so yeah, I think the way Chris has it around number 7 is probably about right.
You know, in a firefight, I want IG-11. In a mission, I'll take R2-D2.
Fuck that. Give me IG-88, the OG.
Dude, that first scene in what was it? It was the first or second episode. I think it was the second episode where they're at the compound where all the people are.
Oh, that was the first episode.
It was okay. I couldn't remember, but when he's just turning and just the way they showed that, I was like, okay, I know I can do that. But the fact that they did that and it was live action, I mean, I know it's CGI. It looked freaking awesome.
I want to see a straight up street brawl between IG-11 and K2SO.
Wait, Danny, who did you say you would take to what?
I said in a firefight, I take IG-11. On a regular like surveillance mission or something, I take R2-D2.
Out of those two, I would take neither. If anything, I would go by myself. But if I had to take someone that's connected to that show, would be the Mandalorian himself, because I could just see me getting along with him.
Have a beer, talk about his days of Red Viper. Hey, I don't know if you guys have you guys ever seen Collider's top 10 Star Wars characters? Have you ever guys?
Oh wait, I think I did, and it was like, what the hell are they thinking?
So R2-D2 didn't even make the top 10 list. But I want you guys to think about one thing. If it wasn't for R2-D2, we wouldn't even have any Star Wars movies. No. Because guess what? When they left the blockade on Naboo, they all would have died if it wasn't for R2 saving that ship. If R2 wasn't there, that ship would have been destroyed, which means we never would have got Anakin, which means the Emperor never would have became the Emperor, which means we never would have got Luke. If it isn't for R2-D2, we wouldn't have Star Wars. And these people left him off the damn list. But somehow Rey made the list. And I just want to ask you guys, what the fuck did Rey do?
Rey didn't do anything. She just showed up and then she was like, I'm Rey, and then she just...
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I absolutely love Rey, but she didn't do jack shit in any.
No, I can tell you exactly what she did. Kylo.
She didn't have enough time.
Oh boy.
She didn't have. I mean, I heard of quickies before, but I don't even know when on that time.
Yeah, like I like Rey too, but she was too. I'm here for no real substance, and I just know how to do everything with absolutely no training. Didn't care for that.
Well, the thing is, I look at the new trilogy. I always look at this new trilogy as really Kylo's story, not Rey's story. I think Kylo, hands down, is the most interesting character.
Why I think it's called the Skywalker saga, because it is. I mean, truthfully, it should have been his trilogy.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I guess they kind of needed someone to pull him back, so he needed the opposite. So I guess
Han did that.
Yeah, but it took Rey hey, do this, hey, do this, hey, do this, But if you really look at it from the first movie on, because he was the first one we were introduced to, other than Poe. It wasn't Rey, it was Kylo, and it's pretty much his story up until the moment he dies. But yeah, I loved Rey so much in Force Awakens, and they really just kind of dropped the ball with her ever since then. It's like I don't think they even realized what they were gonna do with that character. You look at Jason and Jaina and the novels, man, and they're so much well developed compared to what they did with Rey.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I like Kylo a lot. I wish they would have, gave him more to work with, and same thing for all the characters really in that.
He really shined in Last Jedi, I think, the most. I really think Last Jedi was his and Luke's movie. Rey was sort of like a third character, but they didn't give Kylo hardly anything in Rise of Skywalker to do.
Well, yeah, because the whole trilogy, the recent one, is about Rey getting a last name. It's the dumbest shit.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm surprised she just didn't go down to the huts on Tatooine and be like, here's some credits. I want to change my last name. I think I want to go with Watto's last name.
Right.
I would have laughed if Watto was there. Jedi, what do you know?
Do you think Rey is hot, Robert?
I think Daisy Ridley is drop dead gorgeous.
I think she's beautiful. I got nothing against Daisy Ridley. I got nothing against anybody that was in these new films, even if I got problems with the films themselves in places. And truthfully,
I wouldn't act like Finn's dumbass calling her name every second.
No.
But yeah,
right. To be fair, that was fucking. I think JJ did that more than anybody. I think he yelled Rey's name one time in Last Jedi, but for some reason JJ Abrams was like, Finn, yell Rey, and that's all he does is Rey.
That's he does.
He does it 8 times in fucking Rise of Skywalker. Rey.
Right, that's why I love that scene where when he was like Rey, and she used the Force to throw his ass back. Shut the fuck up, Finn. Shut up. Get out of the way.
At least, like you said, you can. I think we all have a love-hate relationship with the sequel trilogy, but I think at least in Last Jedi, at least Finn had somewhat of an arc where he developed as a character and was ready to lose his life for something he believed in, and then Rise of Skywalker, he's right back to carrying fucking Rey's stuff everywhere for her. I love you, Rey. I'm like, oh my god, for the love of God, just fucking kiss Poe. At least that would make somewhat sense.
He was a fucking janitor. That's basically what he was.
Yeah, pretty much. Oh man. Oh, but Finn, he had so much potential, man. He was one of my favorite things about Force. Him and Rey and Kylo were my favorite things about Force Awakens. And somewhere they fucked Finn over, dude. Especially in Rise of Skywalker, they fucked him over so bad.
Yep.
Yeah, I gotta go get my son. So,
all right, Chris. I appreciate you going.
One of these days, you know what amazes me? This is totally off topic, but it amazes me. When I was 16, I couldn't wait to get my license. I know so many kids who are my kids' age, 18 and stuff. They're like,
yeah, it's crazy. You know why? Because of this shit. This shit fucks with their heads, man.
That's true. I don't doubt that.
Hey, well, since you want to bring that up, Chris, I didn't want a license. I was told by humans, you have to have a license to be a man.
But Terrence, you're Terrence. I do not hold my kid up to your level, because if that's the case, my kid might as well jump off a cliff.
Fair enough.
you guys, take it easy, man. Robert, Terrence, Danny, you guys have a great night. Okay.
Later.
All right.
Bye.
I'll got you tomorrow. That was pretty funny. Jason said one of the parts I like about Last Jedi when he was gonna kill himself. Yes. Then they did that shit, and I was like, they both should have died.
The part you liked the most about Last Jedi is when he was going to kill himself. I was like, yes. Then they did that shit, and I was like, they both should have died. I think he's talking about when Rose dived in, like, no, I'm gonna save you because I love you, even though I just met you 2 hours ago. Yeah, I actually think they should have done a boss move and had Finn die. He would have died a boss, dude. He'd be like, fuck these motherfuckers, they kidnapped me. I'm gonna fucking sacrifice my life to take out that fucking stupid ass fucking giant dildo with a fucking thing on it.
Oh, it's been right at our people. And, I appreciate all y'all coming. But I have another show I got to join here shortly. And I think we'll be doing the calculus tomorrow on Chris on Charles. Watch for it on Twitter. Retweet it if you get it. I'm not sure what the topic's going to be, but usually have about 5 topics that we discuss. So until then, before we go, I'm going to let everybody go around and people they found. Terrence, have you still got not to be on your own channel now, or you see the light?
Oh, wait, what was that, Danny?
I said
Where
you
can people
decide
find you, darling?
get your own channel, or you still not going to do anything except on Sundays?
Oh, all I can say is the future is very bright.
Okay. Good deal. Are you ready to fail said? Robert,
Oh, I'm sorry. I can barely hear you. Like you're breaking up. I didn't.
can you hear me now?
I can't even understand you, dude.
It's okay. The show's almost.
I did this shit last night. Can you read the sign? See what said to you?
Oh yeah, I answered that. Yeah, I think I'm done.
Bob, tell you where we can find you at, sir.
Oh me? Just type in Robert Storms or Parasite.
Mad's Mama Bear.
Hey guys. Again, you can find me every Monday here. This Thursday we're going to be the Queen's Council is going to be on According to Christie's channel again. We've got some exciting stuff coming up for for Thursday, and watch my channel because I'm going to be dropping poetry. Actually, I've got 2 that should be coming in the next 24 hours. Okay, and I've got lots more being requested. So yeah, keep an eye out for that, and I'll see y'all guys next week.
Thank you, ma'am. Of course, I'm Danny. This is my channel. On the show is Khaotic Conversation every Monday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And on Sundays, I have a show with Terrence called Equilibrium at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please join us. Until next time, stay safe and catch you later.
Later, guys.
Later.